Hey everyone, this is the episode you do not want to miss. Planning your garden for this year. Yes, I love this time.
Let's put that right there. Put that right there. Yeah, that looks good.
Hey everybody, I was trying to think of another topic to talk to you guys about. My wife said, well, you start doing your seeds right now, starting to get your garden all planned out. Why don't you just talk to people, give them tips on how to start their garden. Right now we should start thinking about what we want to grow. How do we want to lay it out? So she's like, why don't you just talk to people on what you do? So that's what we're going to do in this episode. So why is it important to know what you want to grow? Because you need to know what type of spacing your garden needs. So I learned that the hard way last year. I planted tomatillos and I thought they were going to take the spacing of like say 2 tomato plants. So they ended up taking the spacing of I'd say probably about 4 tomato plants per tomatillo plant. I did 2 of them. They took up fairly good amount of the area that they were going to go in. So once you know the spacing, then you can plan your garden out. But again, before you do that, you got to know what do you want to grow. Then you can figure out how much spacing they need. Then you can figure out where you're going to put them in your garden. There are a lot of materials out there that will help you determine on how much spacing you need. One of the best things, for instance, on these package of Brussels sprouts, it says depth, well, how deep, it says spacing, 3 to 2 feet. Really listen to that because they're not kidding. Now, sometimes I'll just say forget it. I'm going to put 2 of them close together. They'll grow. They're going to grow into each other. They're going to block the sun. They're going to take the nutrients from it. They're just not going to grow as well as they should. So this year I'm actually going to listen and do that. So it's very important. Like I said, I've done it a lot. I've overcrowded them. They just do not give me the results that I want. So next, let's talk about seeds. So where can I get them? You can buy them anywhere. Home Depot, Lowe's, directly from the manufacturer. I bought these microgreens directly from Burpee. They came pretty quick. Burpee has sales all the time too, so I got all my Burpee seeds with free shipping, so they were the same amount I can get them at the store. You really don't find this mix of microgreens at the stores. You can get your seeds. These are organic basil. Again, make sure when you get it, it says this non-GMO on it. Let me focus at it, sorry. Non-GMO, extremely important. Don't plant seeds unless they're non-GMO. Lastly, I also got these heirloom. So what are heirloom? Heirloom are the original cultivated seeds from the earliest that they can say that that the plant was formed, or when they can get it. So heirloom, probably the best ones you can get. Heirloom going to be very expensive. I mean, if you don't have to worry about costs, get heirloom. Also, can get organic, non-GMO. But where can you buy the seeds? Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, directly from the manufacturer. So in this case, Burpee. So yeah, seeds. So on the back of every seed package, they're also going to say how long it take to germinate. So meaning how long are they going to be before you plant them, before they start coming out. So for instance, basil is 5 to 10 days. Then it says plant height. Obviously, how tall is it going to be? Plant depth. How deep do you need to put the plant? So these, 1/4 inch. So sorry, 1/4 inch, so 1/4. Yeah. So what I do is I just lay them flat, put them on, and sprinkle a light layer of dirt on top of it. You can click right here to view a video I did on planting lettuce. Same concept, light layer of dirt, sprinkling the seeds down, and another very light layer of dirt on top of it. Again, click right here to view that video. Days to harvest, 85 days. And then it says plant spacing. So this one, get in there, it says 10 inches. So you're gonna plant your plants 10 inches apart. So that gets back to the spacing. They say it, I'm gonna do it this year. Let's just try to make sure we keep our spacing correctly. Also on the back of these, they're going to give you some instructions when to start them. So a lot of them say start inside 6 weeks before transplanting in the garden. What I've noticed on these is they don't tell you if they're frost hardy, meaning that can they handle a light frost. So if you're going to plant them in spring, our last frost here in Wisconsin is typically the end of May. So if you plant something outside and it's not plant or frost hardy, you're going to kill the plant. So also when planting out your garden, you're going to want to make sure you have stuff that can handle shade, obviously be in the shade, and stuff that needs full sun in the full sun. So you might want to try to take note on where the sun shines the most in your yard. Read the packages. Normally the packages will say if it needs full sun or partial shade. Anything that says full sun is typically 6+ hours. After you figured out what needs shade and what doesn't need shade, you can plan on where you want to put those in your garden. You're also going to want to make sure you have a good water source by your garden. Typically people put gardens by their house, so you should have a water spigot right outside, but note, you need to have some type of good water source by your garden. Lastly, after you figure out what seeds you're going to plant, spacing, what needs shade, what doesn't need shade, and your water source, you're going to need to actually build the garden. I personally use a raised garden. A lot of people go right in the ground. There's really no big difference. I like the raised garden because it kind of makes it look better. It does help keep pests out of it because you can kind of put a barrier up a little bit more on that. Just make sure you think about what type of garden structure you want. Like I said, in the ground or a raised garden. You can also use pots. I personally don't use them because they tend to need a lot more care. You need to add a lot more fertilizer, a lot more water to them. Just because they're in a pot, they're not getting the nutrients and from the soil and the water and the bugs and everything from the rest of the garden. There are other options too. Some people use hay barrels. I've never used them, so I can't comment on that. People also use plastic bins as well. I, again, have never used those, but I have heard that they give you the same results with containers, that you got to add more nutrients to it. So I think the best thing is just put it right in the ground. You're also going to want to note on how tall the plants are that you're planting. They might block the smaller plants. So for instance, if you want to plant corn, put those off by themselves, or put it so when the sun comes, the sun are hitting them first and then hitting the other crops. So just make sure you know the tall stuff, put kind of maybe by itself, or start with the tall stuff and go down to the small stuff.
So what you can use here is for instance, this is a document I got from Burpee. It's a growing calendar. So this is for zones 5 and 6. Remember, Wisconsin here where I'm at is zone 5. So it'll tell you spring indoor soil and then summer transplant date range. So that's going to tell you when you can plant them outside. They're gonna say the Brussels sprouts, they can be planted outside in April. You can see our last average frost is May. That's because Brussels sprouts can handle a frost. So, same thing with broccoli. But if we get down to some of the other stuff, say for instance like okra, don't plant it outside until the end of May. It means it cannot handle a frost. This tool here that I use, this helps me with my spacing. It'll also help me with when I can plant my crops. So this tool that I have, it's from a company called GrowVeg. They don't sponsor me, so you don't have to go out and get it. I'm not telling you to get it. This is just a tool I've used. I've used this tool for the past couple years. It's to scale. So this is my vegetable garden to scale, as well as our fruit trees that we have. We were going to add some raspberries in here. I decided not to do that this year, but it could tell me that. So you can see here with this tool, each square is a 1x1, so it's square foot. So planting my Brussels sprouts here, you could see that if I have them right here, they're actually going to go into my asparagus, so I might have to cut that one out. You could see here the dark section there is how big the plant's going to get. So it's really, really great to show you, using this tool. It shows you what your spacing is. What I like about this tool as well, if you go to plant list, it'll show you when you should plant them indoor, when you should plant them outside, when you should harvest them. So this is another tool that you can use to help you determine when you need to plant them. I really like this tool as well. It helps me with, again, I said it helps me with my spacing. So when I'm starting my garden, I actually start planting my garden in October. So some of my stuff from last year is still in the ground. I'm kind of crazy when it comes to planting my garden. I might change this a couple more times before my final results, but you can see here I have my hoop house here, which is basically just a thing of plastic around in a hoop. But what's awesome about the hoop house is I can actually start my garden way earlier. I can actually start my garden. If you go back to my plant list here, you'll see how it says polytunnel. My cabbage, I can plant that outside in mid-May. So if I do it right, I could potentially have 3 harvests of cabbage a year. So this tool, again, this tool is very powerful with that. Like I said, it also really helps you with your spacing. So I know that, hey, I'm gonna put 3 red cabbages here. That's it. I'm not gonna do anything else. Yeah, I have onions here, but onions are fine. Those take up no space.
So yeah, you don't have to do any or use any elaborate tools like I'm doing. Basic paper and pencil will work. Just make sure you have some type of plan on what you're going to do. Now that you know how to plan your garden, you got your seeds, you got your spacing, when you should plant them, the next thing you need to worry about is your soil. I have a video to help you on that. Composting, right there. Also, please subscribe to my channel by clicking that button right there. Again, compost right there.